I'm going to have to find out if this great blue heron gives fishing lessons, since I'd certainly like to catch a fish like that. Can you believe the size of this northern pike that this great blue heron has just speared? Believe it or not, it actually ate that fish in one big gulp. Yeah, the heron turned that northern pike around until it got its head kind of in its mouth there, and then just basically threw its head straight up in the air and swallowed the pike. I thought maybe it might choke on that pike, but it didn't. So these great blue herons are capable of eating some very large fish, though usually they take things more like a chub size or even down to a minnow. But I couldn't believe it as well. After it got done eating this northern pike, it kept fishing for more fish, didn't stop with just one. But it was kind of late in the season to see a great blue heron here at the end of November, but they'll stay around until the water freezes up. I was cleaning out some of the bluebird and wren houses at Chippewa Prairie yesterday, now that the nesting season is done. It's always a good thing to kind of clean out the old nests so the birds have a nice new spot, you might say, to build a nest when they come back in the spring. But anyway, I found this deer mouse had moved into one of the bluebird houses there. Sometimes people will evict the deer mouse. I decided to let this one live in there for the winter season. They are kind of cute. Look at those big bulging black eyes right there. These deer mice are harmless, and they're actually a good source of food for other animals and raptors out in the prairie there. They eat various grass seeds, rose hips, other fruits like that, nuts like acorns, sometimes mushrooms, and even worms on occasion. But anyway, this one isn't doing any harm there in the birdhouse. Sometimes, these guys move into our houses in the winter too. And then, yeah, you go to put on, an overshoe or something like that, and it's stuffed with dog food or whatever. But anyway, if you're out cleaning out your bird houses for the winter season, you may find a deer mouse or two in some of your bird boxes too. When I was cleaning out that bluebird house here at Chippewa Prairie and found the deer mouse living inside, one of the materials that deer mouse had collected to make a nice cozy den inside of that birdhouse were some of these thimbleweed seeds. Thimbleweed is a neat little prairie flower. It has white petals and usually blooms the latter part of June, first part of July, and after blooming it gets a seed head that when it's still tight looks just about like a thimble that you'd put on your finger when you were doing some sewing. But now in the fall, those seed heads kind of get soft and the wind blows the seeds away. Here we can see though that not all those seeds are gone yet. So if you're out for a walk on a prairie in the winter season, oftentimes there still will be some thimbleweed seeds clinging to those seed heads, and they look kind of pretty when the sun is kind of backlit on them there.